last night was ridiculous again. Absolutely ridiculous again. I start rambling through everything in the world. Drugs and told to say stuff. Shower scenes, framed, da 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 da. Okay? Alright. So, okay. And then people not seeing drug confessions. Like the nurse at Mercy Medical. No, Altman Hospital. They show up and frame the FBI for the tip. Okay? March 13/21 to the nurses that do the vitals. You can talk to them. I talked to the hospital. They said that their staff would cooperate with police or investigators. They said the agency to me. Okay? Nurse pointed at me. Is that why she's here? And then old woman got my face and got smart with me. They told Dr. Alan and Patina, some damn bastard neurochip me. He said he already knew. Somebody did check into it this March and said we didn't think about what she said before. And somebody did tell Dr. Alan and Patina that they did chip her. Okay? Told you can't spin all over this. Alright. Well, I was mistreated because then Eric was stalking me. I don't know who he is at Altman Hospital, calling up the nurse and security and lying to him. So I left and went to Mercy Medical, okay? Because they were start calling me bad names instead of calling the police on him for stalking. You can't interfere in somebody's life. So I went over to Mercy Medical, and they throw Will's promises at me all the time. The diplomatic immunity thing. No man was ever to touch me. The nurse comes in laughing. The only thing they had on you was adjusting yourself. Okay? The guy standing there said, "That's it." She said, "No, it's funny. All they had was she simply wiped off a lot of her clothes on. It's actually funny. That's all they had. No drugs, no telling what to say, no nothing. And I had bruises before. Halt." She said, "It's actually funny." And then I told you March 2nd to the 3rd, 21, 8 to 10:30 at night. They were rigging with the neighbor, the two clips together, put her in a porn. It's not her, it's them. May 12th, 22, Bubba's restaurant. There's group of men are screaming at the undercover police. Several police departments are driving by too. We told those boys, "No, this is funny." We found a tape of them emitting a shower scene in the other room. Okay. May 26, 22, KFC in Belden. A guy walks in, the attorney had it set up so it looked like she was weird with herself, and some idiot man told on him for the shower scene in the other room. Now they can't use it. Well, it was more one man with integrity. At the Oakland apartment maintenance man on Cleveland Avenue, December 9, 21, 4 p.m. They call him and tell him everything was drugged and photoshopped, and it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here. So he told the Camp Police and investigators, December 9, 21, Starr County Hunger Task Force, 9th Street, distributing food in the back. There's only 4 or 5 volunteers. There's a white man bald with dark eyes. He actually worked the case. He came out and he looked at me and looked at them. He said, "We always knew the tapes before were them, not her." So we never said a word. That goes back to January 25th, 2019, 8 to 10:30 at night at 4490 John Thomas. I'm crying in my room, and all the police are at the end of the road because Dave's acting crazy. One shows up and knocks at the door. The police always knew she's innocent before. They were talking about it at the station, da-da-da-da-da. They knew somebody else did something wrong before. They met in March 24, 22, 1:30. Everybody heard it. Have you framed her before? Yeah, we framed her before. Shame on you. I know, I wish we wouldn't have done it. Those people even raped her. Okay? Then February 2nd, 22, Burlington Coat Factory by noon. Some guy looks like the guy that went to payment for it, called Wilbeck, but younger. He could be his brother. He's that close. That he personally drugged me and told me to say stuff. People ran and Save-A-Lot. One client lives on 6th Street. There's a brown house across the street, um, ran out and yelled it to the postman. Postman was like, we all heard it. They sold the login by Christmas 18. Okay? Just like May 25th, 21, 6 p.m., Wendy's crew was talking about the church people breaking in before, drugging her, and telling her to say weirdo stuff. 8, 9, first thing in the morning, apartment building for me, second close to the fence, apartment 2, came out laughing at me. Now my car's bugged. Okay? Then David drugged me. And then he defends me on tape that I'm good to the kids, I'm good to the grandkids, da 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 da, because I expected him to during the case. Okay? But they told the police a few days later. Okay? 1295 Fairlawn, little apartment, little white lady screamed at him for doing it. And she talked to several people. January 1922, 11 o'clock in the morning, Department of Disability. I was drugged and told to say it before, and they're like, somebody needs to help her. Their so-called sodium pentothal reports, they've been telling people they use like ecstasy on me, human slave drugs, where you're awakened, but you don't know what you're doing. Date rape drugs. I can keep going. Of photoshopping, they told my one client out towards Navarre, the neighbors, that everything was photoshopped. And the one client lives out by North Canton, older guy I take care of. When they admitted to framing me, I went out there. The neighbor went, we all heard that bastard admit to framing you. Well, June 7th is my birthday, and across the street there's a big tan house. They had made fun of me for the tapes before. An old lady living next to him yelled at him. Said I told that idiot girls to stop saying stuff to her. Those people even raped her. Well, June 7th, 6 o'clock in the morning, one of the lady investigators was out there. Don't say anything to her. We already know the tapes before were them, not her. And we're looking for who's doing it to her. We didn't realize it. Everybody, it's like for real here. Okay. I can keep rambling. My one client, he's like, this is crazy, Karen. I'm like, who's crazy? He said, these people, they admit to drugging you and telling you to say stuff before, and they admit to raping you in front of people. I said, stay out of it. I'll tell the police. My other client told my other neighbors, Jim and Brian, he heard the drugs and told to say stuff, and it was too dark for him, and I'm not allowed around them. Okay? I've never been questioned of wrongdoing, never prosecuted, never found guilty. I had bruises the size of orange and grapefruits on my legs. I got a scar on my one leg. I woke up and my leg was bleeding on the bed. And I called Dave. Maybe it got you with a toenail. It was white as a cigarette. I had to bandage it and it scarred. I had hand marks embedded in my arm. I'm like, did I squeeze myself? And the fingerprints were bigger than mine. Now, last night outside my one client's, I heard a guy and a little kid. Don't say anything to her about her anymore. Little kid's like, well, I heard they don't believe me. And so I start rambling through everything. I said, where I called, even though it was them pretending to be FBI for it, I called that agent back. My God, I had an FBI agent in my office. It was one of them. Did you not think he opened up a state case for the police to work to protect them? I said, did you think that you just ran out of traffic and everybody took gang shopping trips? I said they caught Melissa telling the kids to lie, and the kids stating on Thanksgiving for the house wasn't meant for Grandma, it was meant for Auntie Cheryl, Papa, and Grandma needs to get out. And then later on, for we're making everything up. Then I played the tape of my daughter-in-law, Dixie, of, that Dave had told her that there was gunfire, they went to the wrong house, and I was target practice. And that Melissa's kids mean game of pretend they were on the floor was laughing about. I know about it. I walk outside, that little kid's like, I won't ever say anything about her again. They heard her say what? I'm like, you knew. Come on. Who did they think they're fooling? Who did they think they were fooling? Even investigators from Ravenna. October 2020, they were down here at FedEx. For real, no, this woman's innocent. For real, no. They yelled it out in Walmart 62. It's ridiculous for any child to be afraid of Karen. She's nothing but good in love. What was the other one? How dare you insult her? Karen's one of the best women you'd ever meet in life. Even one of the main cops that said he talked to Dave and was in the back of CSE got in somebody's face when they went to get rude. And I let him handle it and took off. They told the Ravenna undercover sheriffs, told North Canton Jackson police, the worst thing I ever did wrong, honey. The worst thing you ever did wrong, honey, was bend over him properly. We can wipe that one out. Tell him made fun of the back of my knees. They made a mistake in front of them. Someone called him. You made up a case to watch her before. That's funny. Did what to her before? That's funny. She must really like him. Talking about Michelle, retired Judge Pete's daughter that's friends with Judge Timothy Luda, a magistrate over that district. That's why they did it. They're human trafficking. When you exploit somebody for money, it's human trafficking. You're stupid to even put your name on any of this. I've had people call these people reprobate bastards, asses. People swear like crazy, including children. It's not funny. None of this is funny. They made this whole case a fiasco and public knowledge. They sold it by Christmas 18. And I'll tell you what. I'll be like the guys who were complaining. These people need to fucking go to jail for this. It's a human trafficking group. Exploiting people for money. Drugs, raping them. Terrorizing them. Cutting them up. Making money off of it. It's a human trafficking and a domestic terrorism group. Pretending they're FBI, framing the FBI. And like they told that it's just a bunch of men doing crimes down here, see if someone will actually stop them. I just got my CCW renewed. I went down to the Tuscarora Sheriff's. He said, the Portage County Sheriffs are sending out emails, no one's to believe you, that Dave threatened your life or harmed you or anybody else. He said, I don't read stuff like this. He said, it's illegal to send stuff out like this. You don't tell anybody not to believe somebody when they're being hurt and threatened. You tell me what's going on. So I told him. And I said, I'd actually talked to an FBI agent. He opened up a state case. I have tapes from the case. And I can play it for you. They can timestamp it back. So I played where my ex admitted to harming me, threatening my life, knowing of other people threatening my life. And he's like, your ex-husband's crazy. We all know that. Crazy. Well, I went back, and he's like, and you need to call the FBI or the Ohio Attorney General to arrest those Portage County Sheriffs for this. Okay? I went back to pick up my CCW. I said, can I have a copy of that email? He said, we shredded it, and we told him that no one's to ever say a word about you again. You have already proved it. Well, any police can get into it. I told them Maslin works that they watch Dixie on Federal Avenue, and they tell everybody, I'm innocent, leave me alone, or, well, I don't even know if I told them that. I said Maslin works because they watch Dixie because my ex put a threat on her life and they tamper with the vehicles. He said, Maslin works. I said, yeah, I go in there because he put a threat on her life. They know that state case. He's like, okay. And he started laughing. Maslin tells everybody I'm innocent. Son innocent and 18. See, there is good police departments. This is stupid and ridiculous. Two lady investigators, April 14, 22, Save-A-Lot. It's sick what's going on here. They really did have the man pretend he was FBI before she called that agent back. It was a stunt for Dave to confront her in the truck. They had people pretend they were her kids, bad-mouthing her. Their kids didn't know anything about it. It's been the people hurting her the whole time. February 25th, 22, McDonald's, Silson Dales Road in Whipple. A white man with white hair walks ahead of me. He should live 2 or 3 houses down from 4490 John Thomas. Comes in, I'm tired of this. Those undercover police called Will and told him she was lying. And so he didn't help her. And I found out he didn't watch a house tape. so they'd get away with it. You know, her ex-husband showed up at a store in Ravenna, told everybody he didn't want her anymore, and he'd been trying to get rid of her for a while. And all those people in the store offered to help, even though it was them. Some guy thought it was amazing, and he wanted to meet her. And then I told him to go ahead, and up walks Vito. Hi, I'm Vito. It's like, hi. People run around like I can get in trouble. Like Officer Reinhardt Louisville. I told him about their illegal surveillance. He started going. He's like, don't worry about it. I said, but they're supposed to talk to me and told me to say something. I didn't talk to anybody. He's like, don't worry about it. I said, they're supposed to put a shower seat in the other room. He started going across his arms. He's like, I don't care. He said, I don't care one thing. Until Will took your statement and agreed to protect you, they couldn't even be in your home. It's illegal to be in somebody's home, and it'd be illegal to look and listen. Fourth Amendment. People's places and home will be safe and secure. Their items affected, will not be searched or seized without probable cause warranted with another affirmation. And give me memorandum rights. See, two of the Canton cops are involved because they let those sheriffs in the back of CSC Bank. And when Ed told them that guy, they had been letting them in the back watching me for a long time. They followed me and my one client to Huntington Bank in February to get a hold of Ed, to get a hold of the guy at the Hunger Task Force. Those officers actually did this to her. I heard they didn't give her Miranda rights. It's like I can beat that. They broke in and stabbed me with needles and lied. They had sodium pentothal reports they filled out. They had been by ever since when they drugged me and told me to say stuff, admitting to framing me, admitting to photoshopping a shower scene. And they've been telling people not to say anything to me. They already know all those tapes before with them and not me. There was a group of ladies come down January this year. Circle K gas station, Palmer Road by 6th Street, 7 to 9 in the morning. We needed a big mistake being in her home. She's never said she did anything wrong before. They came down here to verify it. And she was the second level shower scene lady. I heard it's washing. Because when they said March 2nd to the 3rd, 21, 8 to 10:30 at night with the neighbors, they're going to put two clips together, put her in the porn. It's not her, it's them. And then they started describing things that didn't happen. I'm thinking somebody else's body. And then I'm like, the only time I touch myself like that is showering. I walk outside, they're laughing at me. She figured out what they did. That's where the May 12, 22 Bubba's Restaurant at noon and May 12, 26, 22 at KFC. And that's where Ed and the guy at the Hunger Task Force, my other client out towards Navarre, they already told him everything was photoshopped. Okay. I don't think these people are funny. And my oldest and my youngest better not be involved in this. Premeditating, stalking, photoshopping, and drugging me up to help kill me, Josh, and his family. Somebody said it last week, and it ripped my stomach out. I was holding my stomach bending over. I had to get some stuff from my stomach. I was in so much pain I thought that they would even conspire at all to help their father try to kill me. Or even open their word against me when I laying my life down to save them. One day I said, Karen, realize I'll kill them all. I'll kill everything you ever loved in life. Realize I'll kill it. And I'm like, no, you won't. You'll get caught going through me. And they already had Dave on the phone. Dixie and the baby are next. We'll teach Josh a lesson for letting her down there. So angry, cut his hands off so he couldn't work and there's a list. And we'll move on to who we want next. I was desperate to get him caught and keep my children out of it.